Hello, friends. Matt Murphy. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Glad to have you with us. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thanks to Representative Andy Ogles and Senator Jack Johnson for joining us previously in the show. If you missed any of that, you can check it out on our website, 997WTN.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. That's on the television side of things. TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart. We're all over the joint, and obviously on your radio at 99.7 FM. Always a good time to speak with Courtney Johnston. She is a Metro Council member in the city of Nashville. She joins us in studio today to talk about the aftermath of the storm that hit Metro Nashville and the surrounding communities. Gosh, it feels like yesterday, but I guess it's been 10 days now, 11 days now since this storm hit. Courtney, thank you for being with us. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
You got power?
I do, finally.
How long?
We were talking, I can't remember if we got it back Friday or Saturday. I think it may have been Friday. So it was a solid 6 days.
Yeah, when you don't have power and you don't have a clock and you don't have it's hard to keep track of all of that, right?
Yeah. Well, I was a little distracted dealing with, trying to help everybody. So it was just sort of an all.
I thought you elected officials had some sort of bunker that you went into during times of disaster where you get all of your electricity and food and drink and everything you need down there. Mm-hmm. No, not so much.
No. Yeah, no, the bunker was my bedroom that we had, a little space heater blocked off, and there's no bunker.
Well, I'm glad you got power back.
Yes, me too, thank God.
How's your neighborhood? How's your district?
Decimated. So we have a pretty, it's a beautiful tree canopy that has, it's been beat up. There's a lot of it on the ground right now, and a lot of it's still sort of dangling. So we've got a lot of work to do.
Well, I know we'll get into it a little bit later on, but it occurred to me when she said, "Oh, we're ahead of schedule on tree trimming." I was like, "Well, I bet you're." I mean, when the CEO Teresa Broyles Applin said, "Oh, well, we're ahead of schedule this year on tree trimming," I was like, "I bet."
Yeah, now we really are.
God took care of that for you, I suppose.
True. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Explain to me structurally, before we get into some of the ins and outs of this particular disaster, NES is a municipality-owned electrical company. Mm-hmm. So Nashville owns NES.
Correct.
Explain to me how the CEO is selected, how the board is selected, how all that happens.
So the mayor appoints the board, the council confirms the board, just like any of our other boards and commissions, and we have a ton of boards and commissions. It's I don't like the system, to be honest with you, but that's what we have. Would
you describe the appointment or the confirmation, not the appointment, the Metro Council, is it perfunctory? Is it mostly do you recall any time where the Metro Council said, "No, we don't think this person is suitable"?
It happens very, very, very rarely, and it's typically not based off of any sort of substantive reasons. Really, it's usually politically motivated when someone doesn't like someone, and so it's sort of like political warfare type stuff. But very, very rarely is someone not confirmed. If the mayor. And this is both terms, so this was under Cooper as well. When the mayor puts forth someone, they're typically confirmed by the council with very little discussion, usually. And so for the most part, they're political appointments. They're not, So the mayor appoints, the council confirms, usually with very little discussion. And so there's the board. Mm-hmm. The board hires the CEO. Okay. The CEO runs the organization.
So is it a simple majority vote for the Metro Council?
Yes.
For the confirmation?
Yes.
Okay. So even if there were concerns about a particular candidate, you just have to have a majority of the council in order
Correct.
to get the confirmation.
Yep.
So it's basically an appointment and the Metro Council kind of signs off on it.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the performance?
With this?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not.
Tell me, just give me your kind of 50,000-foot view of all of this.
Well, it's electricity is something that you really shouldn't have to think about. And so it's also something that we knew we were going to have outages. we knew that this was going to be a storm, an ice storm. So we were anticipating having outages. Were we anticipating day 11 or whatever day this is to still be dealing with it? Absolutely not. Very early on, I could tell something was wrong. I was surprised that in our updates that we get, and when I say we, the council gets from our liaison, I was surprised that we hadn't scaled up to the level that we should have even preemptively. I was surprised at just how we just did not seem to be prepared, even though we said we were prepared. I was surprised at how we were communicating and not giving the level of communication to people that I felt like this was way worse than what we were actually telling people. And I continued to tell them, listen, you guys got to tell people the truth, because bad news is better than no news, because people have to be able to make informed decisions about their safety and the safety of their families. And if they need to make long-term lodging decisions, right? If they need to say, listen, my parents live, in North Carolina and we need to go there for a week, that's what they need to do. You can't, so it was just really, really frustrating. It has been very, very frustrating. And so slowly but surely, some council members were frustrated from the very beginning, but slowly but surely, other council members and then even the mayor finally started expressing frustration. But something was very wrong to me from the very beginning.
I want to get into some of those particulars in a moment, but if your fellow counselors and yourself made the decision, and maybe you communicate that you're not comfortable or satisfied with the performance of NES, what can you do about it? Or is it solely, what can the mayor do about it at this point? Can anyone force the CEO to be fired?
So that's a really good question. And I think that, I was listening to Senator Johnson before. It's like, so they're trying to figure out what they can do. I don't know what we can do. I think we could probably vote to remove board members. The board could fire the CEO. I don't know. We can't fire the CEO, I don't think, as the mayor, or I don't think that we have that power. The board has that power. Well, we could legislatively ask them to do that. We could vote, legislatively have a vote of no confidence, but I don't think that we have the power to actually fire her. Only the board does.
And I'm dealing in hypotheticals here, but does that, for anyone else, does that make sense? And this just me and you talk. Does it make sense? So we elect. Let's just deal with Davidson County, because we can expand this out and talk about the other affected counties and how they have zero say in any of this.
Right.
But just Davidson County for a minute. I elect Courtney Johnston as my Metro counselor, and for whatever reason, I voted for Courtney, but then I also voted for Freddie. I don't know why I would do that, but let's say I did, and I elect him as my mayor, and he's my mayor, and you're my counselor. Well, that's the only line I have to my representation. That's the only ability that I have to have any say in whether my power goes on or not, or whether my power goes off or not. And those that I elect, I call you, and I say, Courtney, you need to do something about this. I call Freddie, and I say, Freddie, you need to do something about this. And what I'm hearing, and I'm not yelling at you about it, I believe it, but does it make any sense that the mayor of Metro Nashville can't fire that CEO? He's the only elected official that has a say in this. He appointed the board.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason the board decides to dig their heels in, and we had the chair of the board today say, oh, I've got full confidence in the CEO.
Yeah, I saw that email.
What are you talking about?
I agree with you. And I don't know. The mayor may have the ability to do that. That's what I really truly. That's
more of a him question.
It is a him question. I think it's a charter question. But I think that's another problem with this whole setup with this board. who has the regulatory authority over them? I mean,
I might be asking the wrong person, and I don't mean to put you on. What does the board do?
Well, right. Well,
what do they do?
They are the oversight authority, right?
Why aren't y'all the oversight authority?
You don't want us to be.
Why not?
I don't. Well,
you couldn't do worse. I mean, look who they hired. They hired an incompetent. She is an absolute lying incompetent.
Yeah, I don't. It's just not a good. To me, it's just not a good system. I mean, I called the Tennessee Public Utility Commission because I thought, okay, that has to be the regulatory authority that could come in and do an audit, can do an investigation, find out what went wrong, what sort of whatever.
Let's go.
Yep. And you know what they said? We have no authority because they are not a publicly traded utility. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What does that have to do with anything? Apparently it has everything to do with anything. And so he goes, and he's a constituent. And he goes, it's a municipally owned.
So
and
I mean,
thought,
and you,
oh my gosh, this is just insane.
Y'all hear my frustration. So it's a municipality owned system.
Right.
And so the system has failed the constituents. Mm-hmm. And so we go to the elected officials and we say, hey, Mayor O'Connell, hey, Courtney Johnston, hey, rest of the council, y'all need to do something about this. And at least from the council standpoint, and maybe not the mayor, maybe so, they're like, there's not a lot we can do. The board has to do it. Well, who are these people? Where are they? The only person that we've heard from the board says that they have every confidence in the world that Teresa Broyles-Applin can do her job, when it has been clearly demonstrated over the last 11 days that she can't do this job. The press conference yesterday was a disaster.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering why she hasn't been fired yet and who is responsible for not doing the firing. And I guess it's the board. I guess.
I mean, the board can. To me, I think I want to get the legal opinion from Metro Legal to look in the charter to see who does have the authority to do this, because I really don't know, and I don't want to go over my skis and say something wrong. But this is again another problem with this. I just
it reminds me of the school system.
It
reminds me very much of the Metro Nashville school system.
Well, and that it's very, very similar in that the only people that can fire the superintendent of schools is the school board. That's a fact. So it probably is the same. But if I had to guess.
But at least those school board members are elected.
True.
In this case, it's an appointment authority, and maybe Freddie has the ability, and we'll find out from his office whether he has the ability, because I would think if he has everybody wants to play nice. Everybody wants to pretend like we have to. What did she say yesterday? That we'll have an after-action report. Oh, good Lord. I mean, do we need?
Yeah, this after-action and this, internal audit and whatever. I've said this several times. I'm like, that's like telling your kid, here's the belt, go spank yourself. That's just nonsense, right? I mean, someone else, an outside agency, authority, whatever, NERC is an agency, needs to come in and do that. But I'll say they had a risk management that is published, that was referenced by the media. Mm-hmm. It was published November the 25th. It's online. And I printed it out. It's right here. That identifies kind of a lot of stuff that needs to be dealt with. And maybe even the least of which, of course, not the least of which, but the trees is part of it. And a lot of that's been handled.
Well, but they,
at this point,
this past November, and you're holding it there, they identified the outside risk assessment was that the lack of tree trimming was a major risk to the system. They knew that last November.
Yeah. But there's several things in here. There's a lot of things related to reliability. There's a lot of IT things. There's several things that need to be dealt with, and so there's a lot of I'm very, very frustrated. This is just, and it's not something that I've had to look at. This shouldn't be something that I have to look at. We ought to be able to trust that this is being dealt with because we pay our bills and we pay them on time and we pay them a lot of money. It's like $2 billion a year in revenue that they're pulling in. They're not an underfunded organization. I'll say that.
I just would love to know and maybe, I'm not wagging my finger at you or anyone on the Metro Council. Maybe I should be. I would love to know, what are the criteria for selecting board members to the Nashville Electric Service?
I don't think there are criteria. I think you have to live in Davidson County probably, and you have to be a registered voter.
And
probably.
What is the job description of a board member? Because it feels, when everything's great and the sun is shining and it's 72 degrees outside and the electrical power is on and everybody's happy, I bet it's real easy. I bet I could be a board member on NES. But when the poop hits the fan, it's time for people to step up and act like they are the leaders that they were appointed to be. And I just don't see a lot of that leadership happening. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. 23 after the hour. Courtney Johnston's with us. She's with the Metro Council. We'll be back in a moment. We'll be joined by Cameron Smith coming up in just a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk. Super Talk 99.7 WT. In a few more moments with Courtney Johnston. She is a Nashville Metro Councilor. So let's just put a pretty bow on this as to how we understand what we can do from here. What are your questions, and what can you do, not just for your constituents, but for the greater area, Davidson County? And then I'll ask you a follow-up about whether or not there needs to be better representation on the board. But, what, if anything, are you planning to do as a Metro Councilor to get some answers to some of the questions we're posing?
Well, right now, I am trying to take care of the people that are in my district that don't have power. So I am still trying to triage at the moment. But I do want to try to figure out what power we have to do an investigation into what happened and who has that authority, who the best person is to do that. And I personally don't know the answers to those questions because of the way that we're set up. If I was to say, let's do this investigation, they don't necessarily have to comply. So it has to be someone or an entity, an agency, or some sort of authority that can force that. Mayor Freddie O'Connell said I have it on good authority that there's going to be a blue ribbon commission and they'll have a task force, and I'm sure they'll impanel a very powerful effort to get to the bottom of this. Do you have faith in that? Well, I don't know. I don't know because I don't know how truly that's going to go. What I was more looking for is for an agency that has expertise in the distribution of power and policies around such. Someone like NERC that can come in, that knows what they're talking about, that can come in and look and take a deep dive into what happened and how they operate, and to see this is what you did, and this is what you're doing, and this is what you're doing wrong, and this is why this happened, and this is why this was these critical failures. That's what I'm really looking for, and where they have to comply with that. So I don't know where that goes because I truly don't know. This is such a wonky way for this to be set up.
Agreed.
Who has the authority to do what? I don't know. Just like the state government is going, we don't know what authority we have. They're looking into it. So I think that's kind of where everybody is who has the authority to do what. And once we figure out who has the authority to do what, then we can figure out how to move forward. And so that's kind of where I am. But
my electricity is a monopoly. Your electricity is a monopoly. The people that live outside of Davidson County that have NES, should they not have some representation on the board?
Yeah. Absolutely.
They currently do not.
Correct.
But you, as a Metro councilor, you feel like there needs to be a conversation about figuring out a way to regionalize in some fashion so that if I live in Rutherford County and I've got NES, I live in Williamson County, I've got NES. I mean, I should have some elected official that I can call and say, hey, this isn't working for me. Shouldn't I?
Yeah, there's got to be some way to make that fair for those people that are not Davidson County residents and are not represented in that way to have some sort. Yes. Yeah, that's not fair.
I appreciate you so much because, Courtney, I don't pretend that any of us have any of these answers, but I appreciate you digging. I appreciate you sleuthing. And most importantly, I appreciate you speaking directly to the people. A lot of Metro Council will not. You always will, and I'm thankful for that.
Well, this is a terrible, terrible situation. It never should have happened. And I'm the first one to tell you I don't know all the answers. But I will definitely try. And I think the whole point is to figure out what happened wrong and to fix it so that it doesn't happen again. And nobody's looking for perfection, but God knows this is out of bounds.
Final, and I know I'm late on the news, Ken, I apologize, but final question for you. And I've asked this of Senator Johnson, Senator Marsha Blackburn. If you were in the decision-making capacity to make a decision on the future of the CEO, have you seen enough that you believe that you need new leadership at NES?
I think regardless of anything, the public has lost so much trust that there's no question that a change needs to be made.
Representative Courtney, or I should say Councilor Courtney Johnston.
President. Let's just go there. President
of the Matt Murphy Show, Courtney Johnston.
Yeah.
And she will be president until I remember that she has a T in her last name on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A great conversation with Courtney Johnston. I said the T that time. She's a good friend of the show, and you see what I do to her? I don't mean to, but I keep saying Johnson. It's not Johnson. It's Johnston. For goodness sake.
We have some business to attend to.
Do we now?
You never announced the winner of Nincompoops yesterday.
I didn't. I do know who the winner was.
It was me.
It was not.
It was definitely Matt.
What?
Go back and look.
What? Oh, so you know the winner?
Yes, it was me.
Well, then I thought Ken was the winner.
No.
No, I think Ken was the winner.
No, I beat Ken.
No, there's only 2 days. You won. You destroyed it day one, Monday.
And then I beat y'all again yesterday.
I don't know that. I mean, I know I was not the winner. I thought it was neck and neck between you and
was
Weaver.
Not. I feel like I had Weaver.
Is Ken back there?
Ken, you back there?
See,
I am, boys.
Weaver Jackson, I think, is trying to steal defeat from the jaws of victory or victory from the jaws of defeat. I always figure I can't figure out how that phrase goes. He's trying to steal your win from yesterday, Ken.
Well, Brother Jackson has been, since the show began and the discussion over his haircut, he has been acting a lot like these recent news conferences.
I think it was Jackson doesn't.
I'm not sure we have transparency. From Brother Jackson here.
Ken, I feel like you and I need to vote on having an after-action report.
You can go back and look. I just did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I got it pulled up right here.
Uh-huh. So the question then is, why did you ask me who the winner was?
Because I like to hear you say it. Gives me my jollies.
What was the final
jollies?
What was the final tally?
Me winning, Weaver losing, you extra losing.
What? Extra losing? I mean, I'm just asking for a vote total there, Jackson. All right, that's fine, Jackson. If it's that important to you, you're the big winner of Nincompoops in the News from yesterday. I'll tell you who the big winner today. Well, my laptop computer's not a big winner. My apologies. This went off on me again. Jackson, stop what you're doing. I've given you the win. You don't have to count them up. You know what you do have to do?
What?
Hit the music. That's right, ladies and germs. It's time for Nincompoops in the News. And if my computer doesn't work, I'm not going to have a nincompoop. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. Ken Weaver's over in News Closet B. Jackson Williams, Lion Jackson Williams. He of many nicknames. he of the beautifully coiffed hair, he recently off a victory in Nincompoops in the news, is in the control area, and Jackson, I suppose, gets to decide who goes first in this edition of Nincompoops. Would you like our Cameron, our pseudo guest, our good friend of the show, to go first? He just settled in. I don't feel like
I'm not courteous like that. You said how's your laptop doing?
It's off right now.
Okay, we're going Murphy, Williams, Weaver, Smith.
Why are you going to me first?
Because your computer's off and I want to watch you struggle.
All right. My Nincompoops in the news are the Olympic Organizing Committee in Milan, Italy. And while I do not have this story in front of me because my computer will not grant it to me, I did have it pulled up. That apparently there are massive power outages and they don't even have the hockey rink ready yet in Milan, Italy. Jackson.
Is it the NES board? Is it the same people controlling?
I think maybe it's the same folks that are controlling the power here in Nashville, Tennessee, that are controlling the power in Milan.
Did they say it's an unprecedented event?
That's right. This has never happened before. What, the Olympics? No. So they held the first. They're holding some events before the opening ceremonies because they have to do that to get. I mean, these group events like hockey and curling. They have to shift them because they have so many events. So regarding these events, the curling activity started earlier today, and then the lights went off. And in Milan is obviously not ready for prime time. Reminds us of Sochi, Russia, where they had massive power outages in Sochi. The Olympic Village, where the competitors stayed, was not ready. None of the electrical outlets worked. And apparently Milan, Italy is very similar to that. They do not have a functioning hockey rink as we speak.
Do you remember during the COVID Olympics with the cardboard beds?
I do not. What?
They made cardboard beds in the Olympic Village, and if more than one person was on it due to Olympic Village fraternization?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Fornications, I think, is the F word you were looking for. Mm-hmm.
They would break.
Because they're cardboard?
Yes.
Well, that's a given.
I mean, some of that heavy cardboard's pretty good.
That's fair.
So were they handing out, they regularly, we see the stories over the years when the Olympics comes around about the amount of condoms that are handed out in Olympic Village because they know.
Well, this year they weren't having it because of COVID.
Apparently, the Olympic Village every 4 years or every 2 years, when you count Winter and Summer Olympics, apparently the Olympic Village becomes like the Villages down in Florida, which there's rampant activity going on in the villages, and STDs abound down there.
Like an Applebee's parking lot in Maryland?
Oh, my goodness. Is that the one that you did yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, now that I think about it, I think you might have won. So my Nincompoops are the Olympic organizers in Milan, Italy, for their inability to get ready. It only comes around once every 4 years for the Olympic Winter Games. You would think that they would be ready, and they are not. There, I did that without my computer working.
That was pretty good.
That was good work.
Thank
good work
you.
on you.
Thank you. Who goes next?
Me.
Jackson.
Naked man arrested after allegedly drunkenly wielding knives in Pittsburgh area doctor's office.
What?
Naked man arrested after allegedly drunkenly wielding knives in a Pittsburgh area doctor's office.
Thank you.
A man is now facing several charges after he was accused of destroying a doctor's office with knives while nude. On Monday, North Bell Vernon police officers were called to Check-I Group on Broad Avenue for reports of a naked man who was causing a disturbance and was armed with knives. Dispatchers were told that the man was stabbing walls, furniture, and knocking down displays. Several of the employees inside the building fled into other rooms, locked the doors, and called 911. Once police arrived, they found 54-year-old Darnell Howell wielding a large butcher knife in one hand and a steak knife in the other.
Goodness.
Police ordered Howell to drop the knives, and after several commands, he placed the knives on a display table. The officers...
Here you go.
Sorry about that.
The
Oh,
officers
My apologies, officer.
The officers attempted to take Howell into custody, but during the arrest, he was combative, swearing profusely and screaming that he was going to die. Howell evaded officers and ran out of the office down the street. Ultimately, police were able to corner him, and he was taken into custody without any further incidents. After he was taken into custody, he was found to be bleeding from his hand and had several superficial cuts on his stomach. Police investigated the scene and found that several shelves were damaged. A couch had more than a dozen puncture wounds. Pictures had been knocked over, and a pair of athletic shorts were found on the floor. Wonder who those could be. The witnesses said they feared for their lives during the incident, and one of the doctors said it was incredible that no one was hurt. It's a complete panic because you don't know how you're going to react in that type of situation, said Dr. John Ciccini.
What? It's your story, Jackson.
You really
Said that like a question.
Chichini?
you don't really necessarily
I'm Ron
have
Burgundy.
an emergency plan in place. We're just in Bell Vernon here, so you know that caused a lot of chaos. Howell has been charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, recklessly endangering another person, criminal mischief, indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and public drunkenness.
Paging Dr. Ciccini.
Courtney Johnston has left her purse in this room. Do
It's
you have
right
it over there?
Yeah, it's right there.
You see it over there? Okay.
I figured it wasn't yours.
It was not mine. Well, I don't know who can get it to her. There's
Cameron.
4 of us.
Yep.
Cameron's got to do Nincompoops.
He's the finale.
Oh, yeah. I can
You want
do
me
that.
to take it to her?
Yeah, you're done. Ken Weaver, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take it to her. I gotta do this. Y'all do the Nincompoops.
I got the radio show.
All right, you do you.
Oh,
All
wow.
right, the Matt Murphy radio show. Ken Weaver, your nincompoop, sir.
Hospital evacuated after World War I artillery shell discovered in patient's butt. A French hospital partially evacuated over the weekend after doctors discovered that a 24-year-old man seeking emergency care had a live artillery shell lodged in his rectum. According to multiple reports, the man arrived late Saturday night complaining of extreme rectal pain. Medical staff initiated emergency surgery, during which they uncovered an object that was later identified as an 8-inch World War I era artillery shell dating back to 1918.
Where do you even get one of those?
Doctors suspended the procedure and alerted authorities. A security perimeter was established and parts of the hospital were evacuated. Bomb technicians later determined the device did not pose an immediate explosion threat, allowing the hospital to resume operations after the shell was neutralized. The unnamed Frenchman remains hospitalized but is expected to recover following the extraction.
What did he...
Why
I have
did
so
he do
many
it?
questions.
Yeah.
Authorities said they plan to interview him once he feels up to it.
That's going to be a great interview.
I would like to be there for that.
So, how did that happen?
So, did you fall on it?
So there was this artillery shell, and I thought to myself, no, bad.
No, horrible idea.
Just
What are you even thinking about? Like, what goes through your demented little mind to make that think that
problem
that's okay?
is I can handle people who don't think. Like, I know that. I've seen that. But you have to do that, you have to think poorly.
Yeah, it's a willful act.
Right. You have gone through an analysis.
And you got to find one of these things.
Yep. And you've just said.
Like, they aren't just laying around. I mean, I don't know how it is in France,
Well-
but I know here we don't have World War I artillery shells just laying around to shove up our butts.
I'll give you the. Yeah.
Whoa!
Frenchman artillery shell in the butt.
Okie dokie.
Ken
So,
Weaver
you
just
got
won
it.
nincompoop.
Well, did y'all, please tell me, did y'all do the Cuban meat thief yet?
Yes.
Really? That's horrible. It's terrible.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, then my nincompoop is very, very quick. It is Judge Janine, who is now the Attorney General for the District of Columbia, who is now all over the news because she said, quote, I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail.
Heller versus DC? Wasn't it Heller versus DC?
Pretty wild. And hope you get the gun back.
I think that's right. I think I got the case right.
You did. Perfect. And she appeared on Fox News and said that. And the less than 24 hours later, I'm a proud supporter of the Second Amendment.
Oh, wow.
Washington, D.C. law requires handguns be licensed in the district with the Metropolitan Police Department to be carried in our community. We are focused on individuals who are unlawfully carrying guns and will continue building on that momentum to keep our communities safe.
Hey, Ken, you know what that sounds? She misspoke.
Misspoke.
I love it when I love it when they misspoke.
She just needed to clarify.
Yeah, she just needed to offer clarification.
The NRA should just go to the administration and be like, guys, it's clear we need a primer in the Second Amendment. Right. Let's just go over this again.
Yeah, Kash Patel and Janine, y'all just need to stop shooting from the hip, so to speak. When it comes to the Second Amendment.
That's what that Frenchman was doing. He was shooting from the hip.
Ken Weaver, congratulations on your Nincompoops victory. Artillery shell up I didn't even hear it, but all I need to hear is artillery shell up the butt, and I know you won.
Yeah, probably.
That's how you do it. You can vote for Cameron, you can vote for Jackson, you can vote for Matt, or you can vote for the winner, Ken Weaver. On Super Talk 99.7 WTN, it's 56 after the hour. That's how we play. We'll ask Cameron what he thinks about the situation involving NES right after this.